What a head, son! What a head!
Welcome back to Onto the Ball. OB up the mighty Reds. Anything that could have went wrong tonight. That was absolutely abysmal. Welcome back to Onto the Ball. Join us for the next half an hour or so to go over everything that went wrong, which was pretty much from 1 to 15, 16, from 1 to 16, it went wrong. Every player atrocious. Joining me to go through it is James OB for every Liverpool FC podcast. OB, it was supposed to be Jurgen Klopp's swan song. It was almost like we'd booked hotels in Dublin on the 30th of May or whenever it is. Even Jurgen Klopp, in his goodbye speech, is talking about the party we'll have. He mentioned someone, I don't think he said Dublin, but on the last day, on the end of May, the party we'll all have, think about it then and all that. And everyone else that's been looking at the Europa League, it's almost like Liverpool have won the League Cup, that win the Europa League, and they make it a treble with the league as well. But football's not like that, and we've been absolutely embarrassed tonight.
We were diabolical. That was absolute dog shit, Scott. Absolute dog shit. We never played well the whole game. We never did what we were supposed to do from the first moment. Every single one of our players let themselves down, with the possible exception of Van Dijk and McAllister, maybe Gakpo at a push.
Gakpo done all right, didn't he? Or are we just being kind because we were absolutely slapped about? I mean, we need more. I mean, we've been pairing about our front three, OB, for what, nearly a decade now?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're wasting chance after chance after chance at Old Trafford when we should have slapped them 5-0. We're needing McAllister, Thunderbolt, 30-yard efforts to get us past Sheffield United. Tonight, we draw another blank, even though we had Jota coming off the bench for a good half an hour. Salah had a full half. Luis Diaz had a good run out. Gakpo, Núñez, Darwin Núñez. I'm absolutely finished with him. I can't even put it into words. I said to you on the Liverpool group chat in the first half, it's like playing with 10 men. The guy is an absolute brain dead. He's lacking a chromosome. He is absolutely shit. Can you raise me on that?
I agree. I agree. Unfortunately, I just don't think he fits in with what Klopp's trying to achieve. I think he puts us in trouble every time. So there's a moment where rather than make a 5-yard pass, which was on and dead easy, he decided to swing the ball across the park. Unfortunately, on that occasion, they didn't break away. But if they had it done, that would have been another goal. And it was like, you're absolutely stupid. But he wasn't alone. And that's the thing. The whole team were making daft decisions all night. Kelleher obviously made a mistake for the first goal, but the fact that they got to that point was bad anyway. The second goal, I have absolutely no idea what we thought we were doing. It made no sense. The guy had so much space. I don't even know, Scott. It was
Gomez on that second one. Yeah. I mean, let's just talk about the first half, OB. They could have been about 4-0 up.
Yeah.
And it was truly dreadful. And considering we've got Konate, who a lot of us are massive fans of, Van Dijk is Van Dijk, then you're flanked by Gomez, who I even seen a shout that he could be a shout for player of the season this season due to his versatility, is being utilised in all different positions, dependability after the injury problems he's had. And then Tsimikas, if that's not the worst half of football Tsimikas has had in a red shirt, I don't know what is. I'm surprised he made it to half-time, to be honest.
Yeah, I am. I was expecting him to get hooked before that. I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, I suppose unpicking it, they went man for man. They set themselves up with a very clear process of hassling us and crowding us out off the ball, and absolutely done us with it. They looked
like they had 13 men compared to us, didn't they?
But the problem we had was, from the start, we're moving the ball too slow. They talked about it in commentary. We weren't moving the ball quick enough. We had more pace in them. They just muscled us, and they just put the players in the right part of the pitch, and we were stupid enough to fall for it.
Yeah. They defended with 9 players, but then attacked with 6. I mean, that is just like an art of football. And we were shown up tonight, like awfully shown up.
In fairness, their coach is a good tactical coach. He's known for that. He's known for his ability to work out how to play it. I was listening before the game to the radio, and they were talking about the fact that they normally don't go with a 4 at the back. So he'd obviously decided to change it up. He'd obviously altered the style, what he was doing. He'd obviously set the team out and gone, this is how we go against Liverpool. We'll go man-to-man all over the park. And the thing is, that's the second time in, 3 years that they've done us heavily at home. They've done us 2-0 a couple of seasons ago behind closed doors.
What was the context of that? I can't remember it. Obviously, it was Champions League group stage. Yeah, were we already qualified, or did we need it?
I think we pumped them 5-0 away, and then I think we played them and we're maybe already through on the verge of it, and they beat us 2-0. But it didn't really matter in that context. Tonight mattered, but he obviously thought to himself, I can go in, I can cause this team problems, I can go man for man. And it was brave. It was brave because if it doesn't work, or one of your players lets you down, you're screwed.
But equally, I think Jurgen Klopp went into it thinking, I can take this a bit easy. We're at home, the Anfield crowd. I can put it out a less than full strength side and probably still get the job done. And he got his pants absolutely pulled down.
Yeah, I mean, they made 6 changes as well. It wasn't like they went absolutely strongest. They made 6 changes as well. I mean, it kind of shows me that, I mean, it's harsh to have a go at Klopp because of everything he's achieved over such a long time. But I think Klopp just got the tactics wrong tonight. I think he got the personnel wrong. I thought Elliott looked like he was struggling. I don't think Jones ever really got with the pace of the game, and a lot of the passes were terrible from Jones in particular. Tsimikas was absolutely disastrous. I don't know what he thinks.
I'd be surprised if we ever see him in a red shirt again, Obi.
It was that type of.
I'm not even sure if he's third choice left back behind Robertson and Gomez now. I think he might be fourth. I think I'd probably even buy James Milner back and put him third choice left back, and then make sure Tsimikas is fourth choice and we never see him ever again.
Absolutely. Well, for me, I think it was one of them. It reminded me of Dejan Lovren at Wembley against Tottenham at the time, where he got hauled after 25 minutes or whatever. And it was clear that he was struggling. I'm surprised he made it to half time. But in fairness to the boys that went off, we didn't get any better in the second half. If anything, was slightly worse. It actually got worse for us. So for all of us ripping into how poor they were in the first half, I think the second half as a piece of work was actually worse. And that's with supposed key players like Robertson, Szoboszlai and Salah coming on. Salah was terrible again. Absolutely terrible. Szoboszlai give the ball away for one of the goals and then give up.
Szoboszlai is the next person I wanted to talk about. He's shit, Obi. He's absolutely... honestly, mate, I'm serious. He's shit. Honestly, this is in a third or fourth month now. And I said to you in the last stream we were on, it might have been Sheffield United. I'm like, I'm seeing shoots of improvement from Szoboszlai. Maybe this is him coming back. I think I was lying to you. I think I was lying to myself. Last night, tonight, again, Szoboszlai, this is the worst of him. He's so sloppy in possession, almost lackadaisical. The thing that he arrived in the Premier League with, and people started comparing him to Steven Gerrard. Where is that? Where's that cut and thrust? Where's that power? Where's that driving? Where's that fantastic shot? He always seems to be a yard off the pace, a yard too slow making the pass. And tonight, I think he was probably our worst player in the second half. And that's saying something with Endo still on the pitch, because we'll get onto him. But I think the Endo honeymoon is over. He was dreadful at Old Trafford. He was dreadful again tonight. When he gave that ball away in the centre circle, like 2 minutes before he got hooked off, substituted, I thought, Jesus Christ, Endo, you're making a rod for your back here, son.
The thing was, though, the tactics of the other team was to push us in that position. So Endo was under ridiculous pressure. The ball never once came into him right. The pass was either underhit, overhit. So as poor as he was, a lot of that was a distribution. Gomez's passing tonight and his decision-making and the amount of times he fell over, I think he was the worst player on the pitch. I really do. I really
That's
do.
saying something. I think your message in the Liverpool group chat, it summed up nice. It's like we've ran out of luck and legs. Yeah. And I like that. And I thought, do you know what? We look absolutely shattered all over the pitch.
It looked like we'd expended a lot of energy at Old Trafford. Now, the performance at Old Trafford was just lacking a finishing touch or finishing touches. That's something you can work on. What Klopp's been given tonight by his players, and he was standing there shaking his head for large parts of the game, was absolutely diabolical. And it's clear that either they are knackered or they've just run out of ideas. Or, like I said, we've just run out of luck. How many times we've gone behind in games? Why can't we
score anymore? Why can't we be efficient and clinical anymore, OB? I never feel like we're going to put together a decent 5-pass move, cut the defence open, apart from Salah's goal, which he couldn't hold himself onside, which was a great run from Robertson, by the way.
Yeah,
we just never looked like a threat going forward.
I think it was really clever defending because the defender pushed Salah, didn't he, at the right moment. I don't think Salah wanted to be offside. I think he was looking down the line, but he knew he'd been sort of nudged. Well, what I would say is that you ain't going to get the goals from Diaz and Nunez if that's your top front three that you got from Mane and Firmino, and that's the bottom line.
I mean, right now, if we're looking at Palace now on Sunday afternoon, you're going Gakpo on the left, Jota in the middle, and Salah on the right.
Yeah,
like Nunez and Diaz, that they're playing themselves out of the team. Jota cannot get back fit quick enough. I mean, him coming on he made an impact straight away. He only got 20 minutes, but then we kind of fell apart and it went 3-0 after that. But it's Nunez. Nunez is the one, OB. Where is this going to end? Like, literally, where is it going to end? Because
I don't know.
Is he going to come good in the third season and all of a sudden start taking all these chances that he's missed? I seen a compilation on Twitter the other day, and it reminded me of that miss against Luton. Do you remember it? At the back stick. And there was a few more like that. Yeah. And then tonight's will get added to it. 0-0 in that first half. Lovely ball through from Curtis Jones. All he had to do was open his body up like Erling Haaland would have and just put it in the corner. He tries to do that scoop thing and totally gets it wrong, doesn't even hit the target.
How wide was it? It was really wide, wasn't it?
It was good 10 yards. Wasn't even nearly going in. Dreadful.
No, absolutely.
But what must he be thinking? I mean, if it wasn't for that goal against Sheffield United, which was fortuitous to say the least, closing the keeper down, he'd be about 10 games without a goal now.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Looks like he's lacking confidence. You're never really convinced he's going to score. I think with Diaz is slightly different. Diaz adds energy and adds something. He's probably trying to overcompensate for the fact that one of them's misfiring or two of them are misfiring. He hasn't been playing badly. To be fair to Diaz, I mean, it's harsh on Diaz that he gets grouped in that, but his numbers aren't what Mane's were, and that's the problem he's going to have. That he gets.
Don't forget, he missed a huge chance at Old Trafford as well. Do you know what I mean?
He did, yeah, and he failed to keep the ball down, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. For me, it's about what Klopp can pull together for Sunday now, because it'll be one training session tomorrow, then a rest. You know what I mean? Or one training session Saturday. I don't know how he does it.
I don't know, but I don't even know. I wouldn't even like to name a lineup now, because Kwanzaa might even come straight back in for Kanate. Van Dijk will stay. Robertson will be back in. Will Trent be back for that right back berth? Who knows? Soboslai, I wouldn't even have him in. I'd probably keep Curtis Jones in. McAllister, Endo. I'd probably play Joe Gomez at CDM over Endo right now.
Yeah. Would you have Bradley back in?
If Trent's fit, he's coming in. I feel like if we've got four world-class players, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent, Salah. Trent is one of them, four world-class. He's got to come back in, but probably the biggest I think you were the first to call it. You kept saying he's gonna fumble. He has to. It's Kelleher. He was dreadful tonight. Alisson has got to come back ASAP. That first goal was criminal, and the third goal, you got to be pushing them away.
Although, in fairness, he made a couple of really good saves.
Yeah, he's not a bad keeper. But if you're talking about winning stuff, he's nowhere near that top drawer. He's just a solid keeper. He might do a job for someone in the bottom half of the table. I don't want to name what type of team might sign him, but he's solid. Don't get me wrong; he's done really good. But Alisson has got to come back as soon as possible. Trent has got to. Salah's got to find a bit of form. But yeah, it's that midfield. I'm not feeling great about this midfield right now. McAllister is a shoe-in. I like to hope that Curtis Jones can be a bit more effective once he gets back up to speed. It always takes him 3 or 4 games after an injury, and then once he does, he's flying. I mean, Jurgen Klopp obviously loves him, and then you've just got that big hole in the number 6 area, which when you go on Twitter tomorrow, it'll be all over it. We need a mobile, athletic, Rodri type CDM. Doesn't every team? But Endo, I just feel like Endo, the honeymoon period's over, and he just seems to be running out of steam towards the end of the season.
I think I've seen a little bit of that from him and Elliot, and Elliot covers more ground than anybody else. But Endo does cover a lot of ground. They both look tired tonight. That's the first time I've seen Elliot look like he lacked energy, because he's always had that burst. He's always had that ability to cover distances and high energy. And although his pace isn't frightening, he's got good energy and good mobility. And I didn't think that was what he was doing tonight. Slightly different position, so maybe that affected him a little bit. Jones, I thought, was poor. He was overhitting the ball. You never know. He might twist and get Gravenberch back in and just say, look, go and give me some energy and give me some drive. Because the one thing Gravenberch can do, he can drive with the ball and maybe look to move McAllister back into the CDM role and give Endo a break. You know what I mean? He could do that and then just pick another one from Szoboszlai or Jones and go that way. He might well do that. That might be what we see on Sunday. But
that's a good shout. You've just convinced me. I'm on board. McAllister back in the CDM, Try to be a bit more compact, get him on the ball more. Szoboszlai, he's totally out of form, but then you got option to Gravenberch, Curtis Jones. I'm just going to jump into the comments. Trav's joined us. I didn't watch it. Was it an off night, or were they really good? Both, Trav. It was an off night of epic proportions, but Atalanta were so efficient. They were clinical. They were ace, really good. Who was rested? Who wasn't? Salah, Robertson, Diaz, Szoboszlai,
Gravenberch,
Trent, Jota were on the bench. Gravenberch, dreadful.
Bradley.
Football Ferreira. Jose, how you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in, mate. Really appreciate it, as always. Top man. Like, subscribe, guys. Thank you very much. Europa League dream for Klopp seems hard now, almost impossible, but we never know. Obi, I'm not even entertaining any talk about Barcelona 2019, 3-0 down in the first leg. I'm not entertaining it all. We are out. And this isn't even reverse psychology. We're not going to Italy and turning this round. I could even see us huffing and puffing, them negating everything we try to do, and even nicking a late winner to win the tie 4-0 on aggregate. That's what I'm predicting.
Could well happen. I think key will be if we could get an early goal. We could flip the tie on its head, but from what I've seen, I'd be very surprised if they're naive enough to fall for what we want to do, and they'll probably just play the same way. They'll have the home advantage, and they'll have a crowd that are really up for it. It's really interesting, actually, because part of me is thinking, if this is our bad performance between now and the end of the season, it's not the worst game for it to happen. But unfortunately, football isn't like that, and I'm worried that we've hit a wall, and we're going to struggle in the remaining games this season. I hope that's not the case. I have that horrible feeling that we run out of ideas. We didn't look like we had a lot of ideas in attacking areas, and we just need to be more clinical in those attacking areas. And defensively, we looked absolutely all over the place tonight. And none of that was down to Van Dijk. It was all Canate, Tsimikas, and Gomez, really.
And Atalanta, let's be honest, they're no mugs. Like you say,
No,
they
they're
beat
not.
us at Anfield before. They're a quality side. They score goals for fun. If I'm ever doing a coupon, I'll always look at them for both teams to score. Big up, guys. Enjoy the stream, and Premier League should be focused on. Well, I'm getting my wish, OB. I never wanted to be in the Europa League. I never want to be in it ever again. Champions League all the way. I wanted us to go out and rest everyone in the group stage. We didn't. We're in it. Looks like I'm going to get my wish now, but I just want to focus on the Premier League now and see if we can give a big push and get that number 20 in the bag. Are you amen in that?
Yeah, that would be absolutely lovely. But reality is, do you think it will happen?
No. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think we've run out of luck and legs. We look tired. We look shattered. The adrenaline of trying to run through brick walls to give Klopp the send off he deserves. I don't think it's going to happen. No. It's like we can't score at the wrong time in the season.
Yeah.
Watch us beat
5
Palace 9-0 on Sunday now.
We've got 5 top attackers. We've had one of them injured and 3 of them misfiring, if you include Gakpo. I mean, the only one who's come out of it, the sort of period with any credit, is probably Jota. Not Jota, Diaz.
Diaz, yeah,
Jota's
he's been playing well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Jota's been injured, and the other 3 just haven't hit the heights, and that's cost us. That's cost us ultimately.
Just seeing a nice comment coming in from Calvin, slating our Scouse accents. Nice one.
Yeah,
who put 50p in the bell end. Anyways, have a good night, lads. You too, Calvin. Much love. He will rest a lot of players, and I think it's over. I don't think that. All eggs in the league basket. He won't rest players. He'll still go for it, won't he, in the second leg, OB, which is, incidentally, it's only next week, isn't it?
I don't know. I think
it's straight in next week.
It's straight in. Check. Bit concerned that we go over there and try and pull it back and get someone injured. That would be the worry.
That would be.
I don't think you could play a Van Dijk, for example, in that game. I think you'd have to rest Van Dijk
straight away next week.
Yeah, rest McAllister, and then just see if we could pull it out by maybe playing a 4-2-4 or something like that, and just make the game crazy. You know what I mean?
When are we going to talk about Mo Salah, Obi? We mentioned it 10 minutes ago. He was dreadful tonight. Granted, he only had a half, but the warning signs are there. Is it over?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him play as poorly as consistently as this ever since he's joined. And that does say to me that something's possibly going on. He's starting to look really annoyed with himself, even though he's trying to smile. He's starting to look like he doesn't believe he's going to score. And that's worrying. Even when he put that ball away tonight, his head was up in the air. As soon as the flag went up, it was like he'd almost expected it to happen. He just looks bereft of confidence, which is really strange considering the heights that he's hit and the quality that he's got. If anybody would have confidence in their ability, it should be Mo Salah at Liverpool Football Club.
I just don't know what's going to happen this summer. Michel Marchetti has joined. He's written something in Italian. I hope there's no expletives in that, Michel, but thanks for joining. I presume you're an Atalanta fan. Atalanta are from Bergamo, OB. Do you know where Bergamo is?
Italy.
I work for an Italian company and our head office is in Bergamo.
Is it? Have you ever been?
My Italian? No, I've not been actually. But my Italian colleague over there texts me saying no one will be in work tomorrow.
Wow, fair play to them. They got what they deserved. Massive moment for the club and probably for the city. Beat a European superpower and deservedly beat them. Hammered them at home. and that's it. They deserve the moment. We have these ups in European competition. We have these downs. That's what football's all about, and they deserve the moment because they were absolutely fantastic tonight, and they deserved everything that they got.
Definitely. Trav says similar to what Obi said last year, when you win the Carabao Cup, teams tend to dip. The thing is, we won it like 2 months ago, didn't we? And it's just like we seem to have dipped in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It would be a shame, Obi, if we ended this season just with a Carabao Cup in Klopp's swan song season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you get what you deserve at the end of the day. If we're not good enough, we're not good enough, Scott. It doesn't matter whether the manager's leaving or the manager's staying. Players could put a little bit of extra effort in, but I would suggest that they should be doing that anyway. Ultimately, for me, it's about how we approach every game, make sure we've got the right players on the pitch, make sure we've got the right tactics, and it's down to the players to make sure they deliver. What I've seen in the last few weeks is players not delivering, and whether that's putting the ball in the back of the net with the multiple chances we've had at Old Trafford over a couple of games, or tonight where nobody showed up bar Van Dijk and maybe McAllister. You know what I mean? And that just isn't good enough. That's just not good enough. And that's not me calling out the players for what they've done this season, because I think on the whole we've probably surpassed what we were expected to achieve and what I thought we'd achieve. I didn't think we'd be in a title race with 7-8 games to go. And we're obviously in that position, which is absolutely fantastic. But I think the lack of quality and the lack of cutting edge is now coming into play. And I just hope that this is a dip in form, and then we'll see a return to form again really, really shortly. But tonight was more worrying than anything we've seen in the games against United for me. And that bothered me that we were comprehensively outplayed. And it's the first time in a long while that I've seen that happen.
We were slapped. I mean, let's have it right. We were absolutely slapped. And I'm just, my mind was wandering there, because obviously when things are going great on Twitter and everyone's like, oh, I'm glad we got Sobbo, Mac, Endo and Gravenberg over Bellingham. But right now, who can you say has been a bona fide success out of them four? It's only McAllister, isn't it?
It is. I think Endo's been good. I know the last few games he showed a bit of a lack of form. I think Sobbo started really well and has probably drifted off a little bit. Some of that down to injury. Gravenberg's taken a little bit longer to bed in, but he's younger than the rest. For me, McAllister has been probably Liverpool's player of the year, him or Van Dijk. But I mean, let's get it right. 7 games to go, and we're second in the league, but we're only behind on goal difference. We're still very much in a title race. Let's just hang in there and let's just see what happens. Maybe let's focus on that. And it wouldn't surprise me if Klopp gives that game up or gives a few more youth players the opportunity to go out there and try and do something special.
It'd be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it?
It would,
I didn't let Arsenal fans forget when they went strong against Sporting Lisbon last year, when they were in a title race and they were trying to win the Europa League as well, and Saliba got injured and pretty much ended their season. We've got to draw the line and not forget all about Barcelona in 2019 and not go for it. We've got to write this tie off and try to go for it in the league. We have to. It's time for like calm heads and rational thinking. Would people have street parties if we won the Europa League? It'd be good. Don't get me wrong, we'd take it. But you win the league in Jurgen Klopp's last season, and this would be partied for months and months all through the summer. Like, we've got to recognise that, and we've got to realise that. Yeah, I mean, that's the painful thing about it. You can say at the start of the season we would have took top 4 comfy, wouldn't we? Like, it's kind of a transition season, add some more in the summer, and then start looking at winning the league in year 2 or 3. But now Klopp's leaving. Who knows what's going to happen when he goes? It is literally like the whole club could be it. Basically, at a crossroads. It could go one way or the other, and no one knows what way it's going to go. All of a sudden, the players that have been playing in a system that suits them down to the ground could be playing a completely new, different system, and it can come crashing down. I mean, I don't know if Trav's still watching, but he'll know better than anyone. When Fergie left United, it can come crashing down literally overnight. Whereas when it comes good, it takes years to get it good, to build, and like basically it could crash down overnight. Whereas to get it right could take you 3 years of building. That's how fine the balance is, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's not as easy as just chucking money at it now, because clubs are getting pulled and hauled over the coals for it. So what United did was try to throw money at a situation, and that didn't work anyway.
But and we haven't got any anyway.
No,
I've predicted we're going to have not much in the summer. I think we've spent about 2, maybe even 3 years worth of money in a season when we haven't got Champions League, so we're going to have a lot less revenue. I mean, the new manager coming in, he's going to have to really. I mean, you talk about us doing due diligence on the next manager. He should be doing due diligence on the owners and say, what kind of money am I going to have to spend?
Yeah, and hopefully they get the right guy as well. What I don't want to go into this turbulence of having someone for a season and not being the right person. And I'm not saying if we bring somebody in and they're failing, we should stick with them, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, let's hope that they get that decision right. I'm not sure who it'll be. There seem to be a lot of stories about who it's not, which says to me as well that there's something going on in the background, because the fact that Klopp said he was leaving and told the club he was leaving in November and it wasn't announced till January, says to me that there's been a time period where they've gone out and they've tried to source somebody. Now, whether that's worked or whether it hasn't, we don't know, and we'll probably find out with the fullness of time. But there seems to be a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, particularly some of the managers who were lined up to be the replacements. And what they're talking about doesn't really make any sense, because when a big European superpower like Liverpool come along, if you're manager of, say, Sporting Lisbon or Bayern Leverkusen, why wouldn't you go?
Yeah,
it sounds like the perfect opportunity. You'd be propelling yourself into the spotlight, probably the biggest job you'll ever have. And why wouldn't you take that opportunity? So a lot of what's being said is very interesting, but I'm not sure we're being told the full truth. And maybe we'll see some backtracking on what we currently think is the outlook as the season draws to an end.
The only backtracking I want, Obi, is Jurgen Klopp to reveal he's staying. He cannot bear, him and Ulla, his wife, they cannot bear to give up what they've got, and they've signed another 3-year contract. That's the only backtracking I want to see. But we've been in the Liverpool group chat the last week saying it's pretty much impossible, isn't it? Yeah. All his backroom staff are leaving, because obviously some of them are from different countries. They'll be making plans to go back home. Their kids in new schools back wherever they're from, or different jobs, different opportunities. It just isn't going to happen, is it? At the end of May, he's going to say, I've had everything, I'm going to stay. It's just not going to happen, is it?
Can you imagine if it did? I don't think it will either. I think it'll be a case of we'll have someone new. We'll probably know, I don't know, early June. I think the person's already picked. I've thought that for a long time, and
it's going to be that Amarim, isn't it?
I don't know, because he's kind of indicated today. He's indicated today that it's not him.
Yeah, but he's in a title race, isn't he? Like a really nip and tuck title race as well. He's just beat Porto last weekend. He'd be mad to be like, I'm in talks. It's looking positive. It just wouldn't happen. His Sporting fans would go mental for one thing, and if they threw away the league off the back of that, they'd blame it on the unrest of being linked with Liverpool. It's the only thing you can say is that I'm focused on my job.
No, absolutely.
Unless he really is staying like Alonso. I mean, Alonso has really put it to bed. I'm going to be at Leverkusen next year. I mean, that's definitive.
Is it though? This is my point. As much as they tell you something, things can change. So you throw the right amount of money at a situation, or the right amount of compensation at a club. There's a lot of clubs of that size and that sort of financial capacity that both them clubs have got, and they could easily change their mind very quickly if the manager himself's changed his mind. And if you were asked if you were going and you knew you were very, very wanted, and you knew that the strength of your position meant that you could go, no, I'm not going, and it's going to get you more money and a better deal, and they're going to come back to you 3, 4, 5 times, you'd say it, wouldn't you? You'd say, I'm fine. I'm fine where I am. I plan
It
on being
happened
here
with
next
Rafa
year.
Benitez, didn't it? Do you remember his famous quote? He asked Valencia for a table and they bought him a lamp. So, you know, in the summer, it can be like Alonso even, I've won the league, we're in the Champions League. What kind of transfer kit am I getting? And they could be like, none, there's no money. We're going to pay off a bit of debt. And the next minute, his nose could be put out. Trav's still with us. Cheers, Trav. He says Pep Lijnders going to Ajax. Is that as a manager? Is that OB?
Don't know. No idea.
We've got 16 people watching. Cheers, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you think Liverpool are pathetic or Atalanta were just fantastic. OB, now that we're pretty much out, how much did you want to win the Europa League? Are you that arsed about it? I mean, we all want to win it, so obviously we want to win it, but are you that arsed? Are you going to struggle to sleep tonight?
I never struggle to sleep, Scott, but ultimately it'll be about making sure that we're winning major trophies, and it is a major trophy. So for me, I did want to win it. European honours is always good to win. When we won it in the past, I've celebrated like everybody else. I was also gutted when we lost that Europa League final against Seville back in 2016.
Yeah, but I was only gutted because I wanted Champions League qualification. I wasn't gutted about the actual trophy.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It equals the same thing, doesn't it, ultimately? And I know we're going to finish in the top 4 anyway. You finish, if you win it, you win it. And that's a massive day out for the club. It also shows the club in a really good light. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to win it. Do I want to win it more than I want to win the Premier League? Obviously not, if that's what you're asking. That and the FA Cup, I probably wanted to win the FA Cup more. So I was really peeved off at that and what happened there. And I would say the Europa League is probably more important to win than the Carabao Cup, if I'm being totally candid. So out of the four trophies that we were in, we seem to have knocked ourselves out probably the second biggest one, and we knocked ourselves out more than Man United beat us. We've won the 4th biggest one, and we've probably knocked ourselves out the 3rd biggest one as well tonight. So we've brought it on ourselves, but ultimately we have won a trophy this season. I just would like it to be 2, and I'd love it to be the Premier League. And we're still in that, despite the doom and gloom around tonight's result. Maybe this is the wake-up call we need, Scott, and that's what we've got to hold on to, and hope we see a reaction at Palace against Palace at home on Sunday.
Well, that's it. Obviously, Palace being at home, that's must win. I mean, I don't think it will get us anywhere because Man City have got Luton. Who have Arsenal got? They got someone easy as well, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember who they've got.
Is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, they got something. Sure. But then we head into 3 tough away games: Everton, Fulham, and West Ham. I mean, if we come out of that with 12 points, anything's possible. But I can't see us winning all them. Can you?
Not the way we played tonight.
Yeah.
So it's about reaction. If we go and absolutely batter Palace on Sunday, we'll all be feeling differently about them games. But we've got to react, and there's got to be a reaction of the squad, of the players, and of the crowd as well. I thought the crowd were quite poor tonight.
Yeah, but to be fair, we didn't give them anything to be bouncing about, did we? In that second half, I was watching them all sitting there looking glum, and I thought, I don't think I'd be singing either. Someone tried to belt out a bit of the fields of Anfield Road, and I thought, fair play to you, but it's not getting much traction.
No, it's not. It wasn't. Sometimes the players need the fans as well, though, and the fans have got to start that. Yeah. I'd like to think that, I mean, they're talking about on Sunday, they're talking about having a protest over the ticket price increase, aren't they?
What was it tonight? They didn't bring any flags.
Yeah, they didn't bring any flags. So, so there might be another protest on Sunday. Hopefully, I understand that.
It's now the time for protests. We're going for a league and a treble with the Europa League. Like,
it was announced, Scott, and I think it's caused a lot of problems because ultimately that's a massive conglomerate business that we've got sitting in what is essentially a real mixed bag city. You know what I mean? Of people who struggle to make a living and a real working man city. And I think that's the problem. I think it's more of a moral fibre of the club more than anything else. And once it's announced, the various supporters groups, the Spirit of Shankly and etc., they will react. They'll always react to it, and I think they've got a right to do that. They're not going to be silent. They're going to sing. They're just not bringing the flags, which is a visual thing. As long as they make plenty of noise, that'll keep the players going. Hopefully.
Right. Let's head into Sunday, mate. Let's see if we can get up for Sunday. Not just me and you get up for it and do another match reaction, but let's see if Liverpool and the fans can get up for it and try and get 3 points and try and ignite some of the positivity around this title running once again. Even though, look, we're still top of the league. We're still up there on goal difference, albeit. Got 8 people tuning in. Cheers for tuning in, guys. Villa at home Sunday. Oh, yeah, of course. It's Arsenal Villa again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Villa won that one 1-0 at Villa Park. So I imagine Arsenal are going to be right up for turning that around. So, yeah, we're not going to expect any favours from Villa.
I don't know. I mean,
fell off a bit of a cliff themselves.
I think from that perspective, what I would say is I thought Villa were a little bit unlucky to get beat so badly against City. They won tonight, didn't they? Was it 2-0 against Lille?
But again, Arsenal have had 2 days extra rest. Don't build my hopes up, Obi. Arsenal are going to slap them 5-0. You heard it here first.
Okay, I don't think that will happen. I think that'll be a tight game. I think that the other night would have took a lot out of Arsenal as well. I think the players will be mentally exhausted, whereas it looks like Villa have had a relatively easy night tonight.
What was the score, do you know?
Well, it was 2-0 last time I saw it. So
not as easy as Atalanta found it at the mighty Fortress Anfield. What an absolute nightmare, Obi. Cheers for still committing to coming on with me and talking about this for the last 45 nearly minutes. We've got 11 people watching. Cheers for tuning in, guys.
Yeah.
If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Obi, you'll never walk alone. Let's just win the league everybody. Now, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And all I would say is the hard times make the good times sweeter, boys. You'll never walk alone. Come on.
Definitely.
Header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty!